Possibly the greatest triad secret that I ever learnt is one that you may have heard a hint of in my opening solo, and that is that you can take one triad, like a C major triad, and pair it with another triad, like a D major triad. And all of a sudden you have a triad-based pattern that you can continue throughout all of the inversions of both triads, a bit like this. This grouping of two triads, in this case C major and D major, is commonly referred to as a triad pair. And the best thing about a triad pair is that you can take the three notes from our first triad and the three notes from our second triad and put them together to form a 6-note scale that might sound something like this. In just the same way that we refer to a 5-note scale as a pentatonic scale, we're going to refer to this 6-note scale, built from two triads, as a hexatonic scale. And this is something that can be built from any triad pair. I discussed these concepts in great depth in my masterclass, How to Play Triad Pairs and Hexatonic Scales, at bensguitarclub.com. And additionally, if you'd like to continue to develop your command of triads on the guitar neck, make sure to check out my masterclass, How to Solo with Triads, as well. Let's define the term triad pair a little more precisely. A triad pair is a grouping of two triads that have no overlapping notes, that is, no common tones. For example, if we have a C major triad and a D major triad, we have two triads that share no common tones. For example, we have the notes C, E, and G, and then we also have the notes D, F sharp, and A. No common tones to be seen at all. These two triads, when played in a single note fashion, much like this, or when played within the context of the hexatonic scale that can be derived from these two triads, all work particularly well over a C major 7 sharp 11 chord, or in this case a C6 9 sharp 11 chord. Let's hear a triad pair consisting of the C major triad and the D major triad in action, followed by the hexatonic scale that can be derived from this triad pair. Here's the hexatonic scale. In my opinion, a very beautiful sound, but what if we wanted to utilize a little more tension? Treating C major as our general tonal center, the 5 chord in C major is of course G7. In the realm of contemporary improvisational harmony, the 5 chord is of course the chord where we can utilize all sorts of alterations. For example, the flat 5, D flat, and the flat 9, A flat. Over this chord, which is a D flat triad on a G bass note, let's utilize a triad pair that consists of a G major triad and a tritone away, a D flat major triad. Just as we did earlier with our more consonant triads, we can also build a hexatonic scale from these two triads, and in this case we have a particularly angular sounding and also entirely symmetrical hexatonic scale, would sound over 1 octave, a little like this. Let's hear our triad pair in action, consisting of G major and D flat major. And make sure to listen out for all of the beautiful inversions that you can get from these triads, occurring of course in a tritone-based pattern. Additionally, we're going to play the hexatonic scale over 3 octaves as well. Let's check it out. Here's the hexatonic scale. It's a very interesting angular sound, isn't it? And it's something that you would have heard me utilizing along with our more consonant triad pair approach in my solo at the beginning of this video. Having a great command of triad pairs and the subsequent hexatonic scales that can be derived from these triad pairs is, in my opinion, an invaluable skill for any guitar soloist, particularly for someone who wants to expand improvisational language on the instrument. It's certainly an approach that's helped me tremendously in expanding my own language on guitar. So if you'd like to go into a little bit more depth, make sure to check out how to play triad pairs and hexatonic scales at bensguitarclub.com. And don't forget to check out how to solo with triads as well, which features a lot of important triadic information. Perhaps this is an approach that you've utilized. Maybe it's something that you'd like to continue to incorporate into your playing, or maybe it's something that you just can't stand the sound of at all. Either way, make sure to drop a comment down below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, it would be fantastic if you could give it a like so that we can push it out to as many people as possible, and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my upcoming playing videos, lesson videos, a bit like this one, and discussions about music. Keep on playing, keep on enjoying triads on the guitar, and I'll see you next time.